We heard Zuckerberg very clearly say, look, we're not doing a handset and we're not doing an operating system. So what is this?
Okay, let me help try to explain what they are doing. So Android has been such a success around the globe because it is basically an open source platform, and there are little changes you can make to it to tailor it towards a specific device or a specific experience. So what Facebook has done is they have basically changed the home screen or the skin that is offered by Android kind of in a default way. Now, I want to be clear about something. Remember a while back we talked about how Amazon had made some really big changes to Android to accomplish something very deep and different with their Kindle devices. This is not as deep and different as that. Really, this is something that any Android user or software maker can do. Put a new skin so that there's more Facebook in your face if they want to do that. But I think for some, this is less bold than it could have been because, number one, it's not available on every Android device. They're saying it's going to be on, for example, the Samsung Galaxy S3. It's going to be available on that device and on a couple of HTC phones. And then number two, there is going to be this new HTC phone that comes preloaded with this. But that's a lot of information. All you have to know is that they're not making major changes to Android here. They're also not in a real, if you will, agreement with Google to license Android. What they're doing is taking the Android operating system, changing the default skin when you turn on your phone and see what Android offers, and they're making it more Facebook-centric so that they can get more Facebook interaction and maybe down the road more marketing dollars. Deirdre?
Okay, John, so hold it there. We're just going to bring in Paul Sweeney now. So, Paul, you've been the one telling me about this strategy and how you see Facebook's ad growth, which is slow and steady. And as you've rightly pointed out, some investors say it's a little too slow. Does Home, this new product, change anything?
Well, I think it's just another step on the way for Facebook. Facebook recognizes that the future of its business is really mobile. I mean, they know that 60% plus of their usage today is on mobile devices. So they know that's their future. They have to be there. The question is, do they go all the way down the line like Google did by spending $12.5 billion to buy Motorola Mobility to get into the phone business, or do they do it in a little bit lower risk way? And I think they chose, obviously, to partner as opposed to build here. But they
as John just alluded to, Facebook could have gone a lot bigger with this, pushed a lot more limits.
That's right. But I think, Facebook's of the opinion, I believe, that, if they aggregate the big enough audience, the advertisers will come. And actually, the data we're starting to see out of Facebook over the last couple of quarters is they really are getting a lot of traction in terms of mobile revenue.
So, John, I want to bring you back in on this point. I mean, you alluded to it yourself. Home, this new product from Facebook, doesn't even run on all Android products, on all Android systems, but it clearly has nothing to do with Apple. What is that going to mean for the tech ecosystem?
Well, I think that Facebook recognizes the value, I mean, I hate that word ecosystem, but the value of the Apple ecosystem. The fact that it's not just about their ability to sell you a phone, it's what happens when you turn on the phone. Apple has sold more phones than a lot of people out there, a lot of companies out there, because people enjoy that full experience. Facebook knows if they can get their messaging and different functionality used by more people, that's valuable. More people using your services in a big way, you're collecting data on them, it's hugely valuable. Google, Apple, and Facebook, they're all experts in it. And I think given that Apple was not going to make it easy for Facebook to dominate an iPhone, they can have their app there and it's very popular on the iPhone, they weren't going to allow them to do that, but Android does give them that option to test it out. They're going to test it out, but the question remains about how quickly and widespread the adoption will be if you're only on a few select phones, and then of course this new HTC phone, which will be totally dependent on how many people decide to buy that product.
Okay, John, I'm going to bring Paul back in here. What do you think about the chances of challenging, and I'm just speaking about the larger ad revenue space, challenging Google? Can anybody come up and nip at the heels?
I think they can. I mean, Google obviously dominates search, and it's likely they're going to dominate search for a long time, not just in the U.S., but globally. But when you think about display advertising, Facebook is actually becoming the biggest player in display advertising, particularly on mobile devices. devices. So watch out for Facebook to continue to be a big grower there. And then we have online video. Now, Google, obviously, with their YouTube, is a huge presence in online video. But that is a huge source of growth in terms of ad spending on the internet, and there are lots of ways to play online video on the internet, not just YouTube. So, this is a fast-growing market, lots of new entrants in the marketplace, and I think there's going to be a lot of winners out there.